So I was talking about the things like if there are router 1 and router 2 we have, and router 3 we have, and router 4 we have. And if you have a classic mode we have, or we can call it a classic matrix. So the classic mode, or we can call a classic matrix, has a problem. The problem is what? If you have a 10 gig link and if you have a 20 gig link on the side, classic mode does not able to identify which one is the better, because classic mode only can identify up to the 10 gig. It cannot go beyond the 10 gig. It up to the 10 gig it can identify it. But if you have a 10 to 20 gig, you cannot identify it. That's the biggest issue. That's why the classic matrix we have a 32-bit matrix we have. And that's why we came with the concept is called the name mode. The first problem we have solved in the name mode is what? Hierarchy. We have a hierarchy in the name mode. Second problem we have solved the authentication. We have a HMAX authentication, right? The 256 strongest authentication we have. The third problem we have solved is what? The classic mode matrix, right? This link 20 10 and 20 gig. We have resolved this issue. Now we have a classic mode matrix is what? 64-bit. So these issues we have resolved in the name mode. Nowadays in the production, if you ask me which mode we are configured, in a production network nowadays we are doing the name mode only. We are doing the name mode only. A very simple configuration is the same protocol, same same hello packet, same everything is same, nothing is different. Only the thing is that what? Same K1, same K2, same K3, same K4, same K5. Everything is same, right? Only the thing is that we have introduced the K6. K1 is a bandwidth, K2 is a load, K3 is a delay, K4 is a reliability, K5 is amplitude. The K6 that we have introduced, that's for the jitter. The name of the K6 jitter energy and quiescent energy. Again, the K6 is totally reserved right now. We are not using. They introduced the K6, but it is reserved for the future purpose. We are not using it. That's the only major difference in that. And another difference is the 64. So if I talk about the major difference, the 32-bit matrix calculation we have in the classic mode, 64-bit we have a strongest authentication and we have a hierarchy. So you don't need to go in the like an interface mode and come back to the config mode and go back to the interface mode and come back to the config mode. We have a simple one. So have a look over there. So another thing is that the name to mode configuration you can only do in the newer iOS version, right? So you cannot do in the 12.0, you have to go in the 15.0 iOS version. So I can show you EIGRP I have. And both are compatible. Both are compatible in the sense of what? For example, router 1 is running with the classic mode and router 2 is running with the name mode. Both are compatible. They can form the navigation. There is no issue. But don't do that. So I have two routers. Let me fire all the configuration and let me on this guy. First, I need to change my body size because it's 16 might be. All done. Deposit and save it. And you have R2 as well, right? So router 1 and R2. Simple one. I'm just going to configure the 2.1 with the name mode. So in the production, we are doing the name mode, not the classic mode. So if you are still running in the classic mode in the production network, you need to change it then. Because nowadays, everywhere you can see the 10 gig link, 20 gig link, 1 gig, 1 mega, right? So everywhere you can see the 100 gig link, right? Easily. So let's first configure the EIGR or hostname router 1, and as the interface is 0/0 12.1. I'll make this guy the 12.1 like this way. And I have a look back, like I'll consider this guy as a what I'm gonna consider it. It's a LAN network. Same way, it's a LAN network out there, so that we can achieve the communication between this guy and this guy. R2, we have host name will be route number 2, and the interface is 0/0. I have 12.2/24, and no shut interface. Look back number 1, IP address will be 2.2.2, and perfect. How I configure the router EIGRP name mode, man? Oh shit. I lost all my stub part. Shit. I'll do one thing. I'll configure, wrote all those things of this stuff. Let me write the EIGRP name mode. How you can do that? You need to go in the router 1 as the router interface first of all. All this done. Router 2 we have perfect, right? So simple configuration there on router 1. You need to go and see the router EIGRP. Instead of the autonomous system number, have a look. Instead of the autonomous system number, I'll call it as a name over there. As the name is CCI. Now, the EIGRP classic mode, name can be anyone except mode, right? Name can be anyone except mode. Yes, on EIGRP, any name. You can define your name as well, Nasit. That's not a big deal. So router EIGRP CCI. And then after that, what? The classic mode that you have, right? It's only for the IPv4. The name mode you have, it's for the IPv6 as well. So you need to tell this guy, hey, one thing, classic must be address family VRF IPv4 only, right? So what is VRF? You will get to know that in future. Don't worry about that. So VRF IPv4, not IPv4 only. VRF IPv4 is only they have. But the name mode we have IPv6 and IPv4 as well as the address family. I'm interested to run for the IPv4. And here I'm going to define the autonomous system mode for it. See the one of them. Now, what happened? You came in the address family mode over there. And now I can advertise my route. And here also same thing, router EIGRP. These names, come on. This name is just local to the router. So I have a CCI over there. I can configure the NAS over there as well. There's no issue. Name doesn't have any problem. Make sure that they belong to the same autonomous system 1. And then I guess the network will be 12 and they will form the neighborship. That's all. And I'm going to advertise my loopback. And here I'm going to advertise my loopback. So configuration is pretty simple. Name is the local to the router. You can take any name, but make sure that they both belong to the same autonomous system router 2 as well. Right? I'll call this guy as a Nashid. And this guy should be 2 router. Only the major parties of this guy. This has to be seen. And then all done. So if you're gonna see that, same route, same ED, nothing is different, man. So IP EIGRP newer, same EIGRP newer. So IP route EIGRP. Same thing I have. 9080. I can ping it. few things are different. So IP EIGRP topology, if you go in the detail, if you go in the normal, you have a normal. Same successor, same FD, same AD, RD, some everything same. Only the thing is that what? So EIGRP topology, if you see the detailed information of this guy, you will figure out the one interesting thing is what? Two interesting thing. Here the delay is calculated in the picosecond. The smallest unit. So normally in the EIGRP classic mode, the delay is calculated in the microsecond. Here we calculate in the picosecond. And bandwidth is my bandwidth normal. Right? Another thing is that, for example, if you apply the authentication, how you can apply the authentication? You need to. So why say the hierarchy is good, right? In the name mode, hierarchy has a problem in the classic mode, right? So we can do the hierarchy of that. How? I can say that. Come on, man. At AF interface, which interface 0/0, and I say the authentication is what? HMAXR. HMAXR. And I say the make sure that this password has to be start with the character letter. You cannot put those 1, 2, 3 and CCI. You cannot do that. It will throw the error message. You cannot start with the integer. It has to be start with the any character value, CCI 1, 2, 3. Same thing. It's gonna break the name shift. I'm gonna go on the router EIGRP. Now shit. Address family I will go unicast. By default, it's a unicast. If you want to mention the unicast, it's fine. Otherwise, it's by default, it will leave the unicast over there. Autonomous system number. And as the interface, AF interface 0/0. And same authentication mode, HMAC 256 1 CCI 1, 2, 3. So now I can put the password. If the password will match, they will form the name should begin. So the two mode, one mode is called as a first mode is called as the address family mode. The first mode is called as the address family mode. Second mode is called as a AF mode, AF interface mode, address family interface mode. Either you can call it the AF address family, either you can call it the AF mode, AF interface mode. And third mode we have is called what? Topology mode, topology base mode. Each one has its own configuration. For example, if you go back to the address family mode, in an address family mode, you can do this amount of configuration. Like a network statement, metric, you need to change it. You need to shut down the neighbor. And in the AF interface mode, right, you can do this amount of configuration. Like you need to do the summarization, right? Then you can do over here in the AF interface mode. I want to change the hello time, I can do over here. I want to change the hold on time, I can do over here. I want to shut down the interface, I can shut down over here. And the topology base mode, we have go exit and topology base mode. I can do this amount of configuration. Like a variance, I can change it from here. I can change the maximum path from here. Right? I can disable or enable the auto summarization from here. So whatever the commands you know that I'm telling you, I can do the offset list from here. I can do the redistribute from here. So things we can do. So we have three modes: address family, AF, and topology mode. So that's all about the EIGRP name mode, guys, at the your level, right? And one more thing, if you see that, I'll make a node out of EIGRP nashe. For example, I'm going to disable it. So one side I'm running with the what name mode, another side I'm going to run with the class mode. So I'll call this guy the router EIGRP. Make sure that the autonomous system is same. So he's also using the autonomous system, but the name mode with autonomous system 1. So I'm going to use the classic mode with autonomous system 1.
Oh,
So I'll call
basically, all these three modes are used for
just for the configuration perspective.
okay. So because the initial part I just missed that. I couldn't understand. I was not missed that. So this lab is purely for the
So in a topology base, you can do this amount of configuration, like a redistribution, offset list, auto summarization, variance. You can do that. In a interface mode, you can do the apply the authentication. You can do the summarization as well. You can shut down the interface, right? In the topology base, this is the address family mode. You can do this amount of configuration, like a network statement.
basically these three modes have the only function that we can do the different configuration. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. The only configuration has divided in these three modes. So in a classic mode, what happened? We have all configuration in the interface mode and global configuration mode. So in a name mode, what happened? The configuration has categorized in these three modes, so that you have a
Okay.
complete hierarchy.
Now I got the answer of this question. Name mode. Okay. I see.
So now you go on the router number one and say that what router agent one. Make sure that the AS should be same, and as the network will be what 12.0, and they will form the neighborship.
What
Right.
about the authentication?
Authentication, we need to apply it, right? So if this guy is going to use the SAM HMAC, it doesn't use it, right? So you need to remove from there now,
Okay.
because it doesn't use SAM HMAC is not going to use by the classic classic. So now my neighbors is came up. So if you go to router 2, do show IP root EIGRP, perfect ping, source. If you see the do show IP protocol, and if you see the do show IP protocol, can you see the K6 over there now?
Right.
That's for the name mode.
Okay, so
Energy rate. That's for the K6 value that we are using the name mode, but it's reserved for the future purpose. We are not have a K6 over there. Second thing,
Right.
matrix conversion, we have a 64-bit, but we have a 32-bit over here.
Right.
Apart from same thing, distance, everything is same. Nothing is.
Okay, so in terms of authentication, I'm sorry to interrupt here. A part of the authentication, so we normally use the two type of authentication. One is MD5, the other one is the T
MD5 we are
something.
using only in the classic mode. In a classic
Okay.
mode, we only use the MD5. This thing doesn't support in the classic mode.
So
Nowadays it's not. See, now it's not something. Maybe in future they will make something, but now it's not something.
right. So to secure the network of
Just authorize the person, not the secure the network. Secure the network, we are using the IPsec protocol.
okay, okay. So to authorize, okay, for authentication,
Only for authentication is password putting, right? Authorize the user, authorize the person, authorize the router, authorize the neighbor.
for authentication we have to apply, right? It has to be done.
Yeah.
And authentication mode is HMAC.
This is the algorithm that we are using it.
Algorithm, and this is only we configure in EIGRP or other protocols as well.
Our other protocol has a different modes. This is for the EIGRP only.
EIGRP only and only in the name mode. That's it. Nothing
That's
else.
only in name mode. That's it.
Obviously,
All the other routing protocol has a different behavior. OSPF has MD5, right? BGP has MD5. IPsec you can do that HMAX authentication over there as well.
So when actually we need the authentication mode when we are doing the configuration.
When you need authentication.
Yeah, when exactly we need to configure that?
When you're gonna authorize the person. So if take example, if I'm not gonna put the authentication, and if I'm not gonna put the authentication, then what happened? If I'm just gonna enable this interface in the EIGRP, and I don't know who is the neighbor is sitting over there, maybe he's the attacker. And if I'm gonna form the neighborship with the attacker, then what happened? He can do the attack in my network. So better to use what? Put the password over there.
Authentication is a password basically, but again, it's not the
Yeah, it's a
IPsec.
password. Authentic. Okay, what do you mean by authentication? What do you understand meaning of authentication? You tell me.
Authentic means that we are authorizing somebody.
You are authorizing somebody, right? your
Exactly.
phone password, laptop password, ATM password, kit card password, right? Same thing, I just put the password over there, CCI 123. So if my neighbor is using the CCI 123, then I'm gonna form the neighborship. If neighbor is not using, I'm not gonna form the neighborship.
Okay, so that means if we call it IPsec, obviously that is not a part of the question.
Yeah.
IPsec has a different functionality than the authentication, right?
For authentication means authorize the guy. We are just authorizing the person. IPsec is a protocol. It's a suite of protocol. It's not only it's a mix of protocol. That's gonna secure my data traffic. Authentication is securing my network, or we can say authorize my network with authorize my neighbor router. IPsec is totally securing your data traffic. Authentication doesn't mean that you're securing your data traffic. Authentication just means that you are authorizing the person. That's all. You got that? You got? Hey, are you there? Looks like he's not there. Anybody has any question, guys? So all done. So only the thing is that this part, the metric DB skill we have 128 by default in the name mode. No need to learn it and believe it, right? It's gonna confuse you more. It's a I part, so leave it. So apart from this thing, you are done with the name mode. You can go and configure the name mode in the production network if you want. It's good to go. And it is a recommendation to do that the EIGRP name mode in the production because EIGRP classic mode has a lots of problems.
Cool.
All good. So that's all for guys. So I'll put the password 1 minute in the notepad. If you want, you can refer it. And put that. Here it is. Suppose. Okay. If you want, you can. Not a mandatory to apply the authentication. If you want, you can apply it. So here I'm done with the name mode, guys. Extra name mode. So we'll do some stuffs of the EIGRP. That's called the route filtering tomorrow. Route filtering is there, some passive interface is there. We'll do the authentication as well as then we'll do the some small stuffs are there. We'll do that. Okay.
Okay. Just okay. But if I may ask a question,
Yeah, go ahead.
the three different scenario you used, the last one. What are the difference between them?
Nothing. They are just configuration difference.
Yeah, just okay.
Just a configuration. So topology mode has a different configuration. AF interface mode has a different configuration, and what we call topology base has a different configuration. AF interface has a different address family has a different configuration. So these are just
Okay.
a three mode. So basically, your all the classic mode configuration, right? Whatever the classic mode configuration there is divided into the three subsections.
Okay. 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 All right, that's fine. Okay, but okay, so let's say in your opinion, which one is the best? Which one is best for you to use if you are going if you are having a work? Which one is best?
You're asking the classic mode and what's the name mode? You're asking the classic versus name mode. Which one is
Yes.
best?
Yes.
Name mode is best.
Okay. Okay.
Classic mode people are not using nowadays, man. Even the,
Okay.
I'll tell you a higher level point of view, very, very higher level. So classic mode does not support the newer features. For example, EIGRP add path, it doesn't support by the classic mode. EIGRP over the top, it doesn't support by the classic mode.
Okay.
I haven't done the practical of the fast readout on the EIGRP classic mode. I did on the name mode. Maybe I don't know if it doesn't support the classic mode as well. So many features, whatever the features are coming nowadays, it doesn't support by the classic mode. It's only support by the name mode. So if you're planning to implement the new features, like you have a network of the EIGRP company and you're planning to implement the new features, you only have option to go with the name mode, not the classic mode. And another reason is that if you have a 20 gig link, right, there's no option of the classic mode. You only have option in the name mode because classic mode only support up to the 10 gig link.
Okay.
All good?
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Yes, sir. That's fine.
Anyone else has any question, guys? Karas, Vijay Sahu, Gujar, Feroz, Nasir.
I can ask
and,
that. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Just
Yeah, the previously you draw one diagram as a real-time scenario based, right? For this tub.
yeah, DMBP, right?
Yeah, like router one is a headquarter, other
Right,
routers
right,
are branches.
right.
Only you suggest to configure stub in the branches, right?
Branches, router number 2, router 3, router 4, right? Not the
Yeah,
headquarters.
then only it won't give the queries to the other, I mean, branch routers.
Right.
And also it won't query to the headquarter router as well, right?
So it will send the query packet to the neighboring router only. So router 1, router 2 will send the query packet to the neighboring router, but it
No,
won't.
I'm asking this stub, the router 2, 3, 4 at the bottom, right? These
Yeah.
are not even querying to the topper one.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
means
right.
the okay. In this case, I have one doubt actually.
Yeah.
R1 is the center for all
That's
the
headquarter, right? Yeah.
yeah. It will query to all the branch routers and
Also,
update based on
yeah.
that. Correct.
Right.
What if R1 goes down? How the remaining? I mean,
All
the
goes down,
branches
man. All goes down.
completely.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's a called a single link failure, single hub failure.
Yeah,
So
single point of failure.
you have a solution for that one. You can make a dual hub connectivity. So you can make a two hub router, or you can make a two HQ router over there. So that's called the DMPP and dual.
Okay,
hub.
high availability in the
It's
headquarter,
not a
right?
high availability. You have a multiple solution for that one. If you want to make a high availability, you can make a high availability. If you want to perform the load balancing between the two hub routers, you can do that as well.
Okay.
It's yeah, it's again higher level things, right? Yeah, but you do have ability. So your question was if the headquarter goes down, everything goes down, right? So nothing no connection will happen.
Okay.
All good, right?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for explaining.
Yeah, no issue, man. So these things, right, on DMVPN. So I remember, like,